YouTube, Dark Richician of Team Sorcerers here, and I'm continuing the top 20 trend. This time I'm counting down my top 20 favourite dragons. Another of my favourite monster types in the game. Probably guessed, because Big Blue Eyes and Red Eyes fan. Again, this will be in two parts. So yeah, let's kick off the list of my top 20 favourite dragons ever. So starting off at number 20 is Odd Eye's Pendulum Dragon, my favourite pendulum monster, and therefore the only one on this list. But hey, at least it's on the list. Yeah, Odd Eye's Pendulum Dragon is awesome. Um, he's a fun card, whether he's just searching for a low attack pendulum or whether he's just a nice monster easily summoned to the field through way of pendulum summon and just attack over anything it can attack over and do double damage, provided he's battling a monster, of course. So he's generally never a dead card. And I've played him in quite a few decks over the last 4 years. Pendulum, Dark Magician, Legendary Hero, of course, Dimension Dragons. That was fun. And of course, right now I'm playing him in 3 different decks: Supreme Kings, the 1 copy per card Yuya deck, and normal Pendulum deck. This is still the only effect monster in the main deck. I wish this was the original artwork, though. Although alternate arts are cool, I generally prefer the original artworks. But all the same, Odd Eye's Pendulum Dragon is awesome. Again, big fan of protagonists ace monsters with 2500 attack. Epic. Number 19 is another level 7 dragon, Black Rose Dragon. Yeah, again, this one's not in very good condition. Don't remember who I got it from, and again, I did not leave it in this condition. It was like that when I got it. But yeah, Black Rose Dragon is an awesome monster anyway. Great generic level 7, one of the best level 7 synchros in the game, because it basically resets the board, making it very, very powerful. Its other effect is pretty neat as well if you're playing it in a plant deck. That effect doesn't see much use, but it is still used. All the same, I like playing it in anything that can make level 7s, especially some kind of variant of Dark Magician. There's that damn Siren. Yeah, it's great in Plant Hero, just so much fun. Because then I can definitely use its second effect if I don't bomb the field. And I also use this in my Legendary Hero deck, because Debris Dragon and Dandelion or King of the Swamp just make this guy just like that. And it's great using this with Dandelion. Although the field is nuked, I don't leave empty-handed, and I still have tokens to just sit behind for a bit. But yeah, there's not much else to say about Black Rose. Still definitely a level 7 that's worth playing even today. In at number 18 is Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, another one of the Dimension Dragons. I mean, he's one of the coolest generic rank 4s in the game. Definitely worth playing in anything that makes rank 4s if you're able to. Um, and yeah, it's a formidable monster that can run over basically anything. Well, um, provided, of course, again, it doesn't have targeting immunity, of course, or is unaffected by card effects. But overall, though, it's a great rank 4 to have on hand. Um, and it's also quite ridiculous in heraldic beasts as well. As I'm pretty sure my friend Brian, up on the way, once did a combo where he summoned this off. Um, what's the name of that spell called? Uh, is it Heraldic Reborn? That spell which special summons 2 level 4 heraldic beasts and you instantly exceed summon. I don't know. So he topped that, played it, brought this out, and then he did something to reattach 2 materials to Dark Rebellion and then used it again. It would help if I had the video on hand, but obviously when I lost my original channel, I don't have that anymore. But yeah, it was quite funny. Dark Rebellion blocks. In at number 17 is Red Dragon Archfiend, like the OG Red Dragon Archfiend monster. It's kind of a pity it doesn't not really see play anymore, except in its own archetype deck. But still, here's a great generic level 8 synchro. Definitely worth going into if you need power, basically. So the general options, at least back in the day, was Stardust Dragon for destruction, protection, Fort Ruler, if you wanted something with targeting immunity from spells and traps, Colossal Fighter if you wanted either a beat stick or something to store behind, or Red Dragon Archfiend just for raw power to help run over something problematic, provided it didn't have more attack points. Either that, or you just summon it to break through some defences like Reaper and Marshmallow on Scapegoat. He's just always been a great fun card to have on hand. It's a shame he doesn't see much play anymore. I've even seen a couple of Red Dragon Archfiend decks that don't even play it. It's like, how can you not play the original? Like, he was the card that made that, his own archetype a thing in the first place. Like, come on, you've got to have at least one. I mean, I of course still play at least one copy of it in my Red Dragon Archfiend deck. I mean, I guess I admit it and agree with everyone. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend and Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend are better, but it just doesn't seem right to completely disregard the original, ignore it, toss it aside without giving it a chance. Yeah, there's not much else to say, really. In at number 16 is a classic, the Black Skull Dragon. I didn't play it too much, at least not back in the day, but Black Skull Dragon is just awesome. A very simple 3800, 3200 beta to bring out. Again, fusions are generally difficult to make nowadays. Well, they've never really been difficult to summon. even if it's one that needs high level monsters, in this case Red Eyes Black Dragon and Summon Skull. Um, I still actually play this in my Red Eyes Black Dragon deck. I mean, I know there's better options nowadays. You know, its retained counterpart, Archery Black Skull Dragon, is better. Meteor Black Comet Dragon is better. And I guess Red Eye Slash Dragon is better. And of course, the stupid dreaded Dragoon, which I don't play, by the way. But I like having Black Skull Dragon on hand. It's something to bring out just for the fun of it. Like, well, just if I have game anyway. Yeah, it's an awesome classic card. Kind of wish me or my brother had it when we first started playing, but we didn't have a lot of options and amazing cards to work with at the time. But yeah, that's all there is to say. In at number 15 is Majestic Star Dragon, one of the most beautiful looking cards in the game. This is one I did talk about before, but yeah, Majestic Star Dragon is epic. Just negating a monster's effect and copying it and nuking the entire board, entire opponent's board, I should say, if they activated anything. And there's a nice 3800 beta. Maybe not completely practical, but definitely fun to play. Like I said before, I played a whole deck based around this card, and it's actually not very difficult to summon. Like, there would be duels where, like, I could summon it on my very first turn. In fact, or at least on one occasion, there was one time where I summoned it 4 times over the course of a duel, which was in a game I had against Derek's Black Wings, where I just kept summoning it, getting rid of something he had, until eventually he just finished me off. But which was unfortunate, but it was a lot of fun. It was one of the best duels I ever had with the Godfather, even though I didn't win. Yeah, I have it in my Yusei deck, of course. I really, really wanted to play it in my Stardust Junk deck, but I didn't have the room, which was annoying. Oh well. In at number 40 is Red Nova Dragon. Another card I already talked about, but Red Nova Dragon is such a cool, epic upgrade to Red Dragon Archery. Destruction immunity, gains attack points, 500 attack for every 2 in the engrave, negates attacks and comes back. It was just awesome. Yeah, a formidable monster to bring out mid to late game. I know obviously King Calamity is better, but Red Nova Dragon is just a lot more fun. That's really all there is to say about it, really. I mean, I always try and go for him if I can when I play my Red Dragon Archfiend deck, but the opportunity just doesn't always come up, which is a pity. Yeah, I even played it in my Dark Magician deck at a couple of points, because I did play Red Dragon Archery in there, and I played level 2 tuners, which were Plague and Knights and Sorcerer. Summoned it once, but that was it. It was just nice to have anyway, and I still have it in the deck of cards actually. I don't have the original Red Dragon Archfiend in there, unfortunately, but I do have what do you call it? A Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. Um, which was fine because his name counts as Red Dragon Archfiend while on the field and in the graveyard. Yeah, it is fun to play in a deck and bring out if you're able to. Speaking of Scarlight, he's at number 13. One of the very best level 8 synchros in the game. He's just absolutely awesome. Just destroying special summoned effect monsters with attack equal or lower than this card's attack. So it's very helpful if I need to clear the field of certain monsters. And the fact that its name is treated as Red Dragon Archfiend on the field and engrave is also very useful as well, which helps with the Red Dragon Archfiend support. And like I said, I can just use him to go into Red Nova. Or of course, you could alternatively make Majestic Red Dragon using this guy, but as cool as Majestic Red Dragon is, he's not very easy to summon. Unlike Majestic Star Dragon. Yeah, Scarlight is awesome. He's an absolute must in anything that makes level 8 synchros. He's something else I play in my card deck. I did play him for a while in Dark Magician, like in 2016, before switching to Pendulum Dark Magician. And I still have him in my fish deck as well, because, yeah, why not? And that's all there really is to say about him. In at number 12 is another rival ace monster card, Borreload Dragon. Another card I did talk about before as well. Yeah, Borreload is an epic Link 4 monster. Has kind of been pushed aside by Boral Sword, Avramax, and more recently Access Code Talker. But it's still definitely worth having if you're able to run it. I mean, I've got it in like a few decks now, including Rockets, of course. He's still a good Link 4 to have on hand. I mean, having targeting immunity from monster effects is generally very useful, especially in the Endymion matchup, because Medusa can't halve it, and Mythical Beast Master Cerberus can't banish it, which is very handy. And another Borreload can't affect it, which is quite funny. Oh yeah, and it's actually a good out to basically monsters that can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, which is generally very useful. Just summon this guy, attack into it, and steal it. Because the effect to take control of a monster does not target, which is very, very handy. In fact, I don't know if I mentioned this before, I probably did, but I once witnessed a duel between Craig and George, where George was using rockets, Craig was using Chaos Max, and it was George's turn. And Craig had incantation monsters in defense mode, and George was able to make Borreload, attack into Chaos Max, steal it, and have Chaos Max run into the incantation for game. Which is just crazy to watch. And Craig was like, "Yeah, fair play," and he shook his hand. Um, I don't have as many interesting memories with Borreload though. Apart from summoning it twice against Weber's 5 using his Endymion deck and putting him uh, in a bit of a pickle. He still won the actual match where I did that, but in the endurance, well, I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't seen it already, but Borreload was just instrumental when I brought in my rockets against his Endymion deck. Gotta love Borreload. And in at number 11, just before we cut to a break, is Borreload Dragon, the offensive counterpart to Borreload. Pretty much a generic staple, or at least a semi-staple in decks. Though I'm pretty sure even this card got pushed aside for Avramax and access code. Either that or there are decks that just simply play both, well, all three of those monsters really. But in this case, Borreload is like an awesome card which can end games or just keep monsters at bay. Well, unless of course it has targeting immunity again, but not everything has targeting immunity. But Borreload is a great card. Again, just like Dark Rebellion, it can attack over basically anything. Just chopping its points in half and overpowering it, swinging for 3k. And can do it at least twice if there's a monster that can change to defense mode. Plus its battle immunity effect is pretty useful as well, as you never know whether Borreload might get attacked by something with more attack points. Yeah, it can happen. Again, this is something I try and play if I can. Obviously, I'm not really got a lot of Borreloads. Like, I only own 3 copies of it now. One for this collection, one for my favourite Link collection, and of course there's the one in my Rocket deck. So I was just lucky to pull this one from a pack and add it to this collection. Yeah, this is the same one that I got from our 100 pack opening video. Check that out if you haven't done so already. And yeah, that's all there is to say really. And now I'm gonna cut it to a break here, so stay tuned for part 2 of this list. Thanks for watching, see you shortly.